I'm Brandon from My Seminary Life, and this is YouTube. And I might as well just take my ring light off because it's not really doing much. Ooh, maybe a little bit. I don't think it's really worth keeping on, though. Yes, this is YouTube, the thing that nobody has been asking for. My Seminary Life is now on YouTube. Isn't that exciting for all of you dropping in for the very first time? Welcome to the show. My Seminary Life has been around for a little over 2 years now. It is a weekly podcast that you can get every Saturday morning wherever you stream your shows. We are more than likely there. And it started out 2 years ago as a show where I was essentially journaling my way through my seminary experience as I was working towards my Master of Arts in Ministry Studies. Each week, I would sit down to talk about the lectures, the homework, the readings, the whatever, and that's what I would put out. And it started out as a way for me to be able to reflect and think critically about what I was learning, not to just be passively intaking homework and assignments, but to actually pause and reflect and see, do I really believe what I am being taught? What are my thoughts on it? How can I make it applicable to my context right now? Things like that. But in time, it became a way for me to take conversations that are normally reserved for the seminary classroom and to bring it to everyone. Anyone and everybody who wants to listen. And that's what My Seminary Life has become. We are pro-intellectualism, but still with an applicableness to it, practical theology, if you will. And you can get that every week, like I said, in podcast form on Spotify, Apple, whatever. But we're here now on YouTube as well. I guess I should say I graduated back in May, so we're in a new phase here on the show, and with a new phase comes experimenting with new things. We joined a podcast network, YouTube, etc. But we're in what I'm calling the independent study era now here on the show. So we're done with classes for probably a while now, because my wife definitely wants me to take a break, and I need a break from higher education. But here on the show, because I didn't want it to end after just 2 years, we're going to be diving into topics and subjects that I probably should have taken a class on in seminary. Like the first one we did right after I finished my final class in March was apologetics, because somehow I got through seminary without taking an apologetics class. You explain that one to me. Or right now, what we're doing is also making space for fun series, stuff that's you don't usually take a class on it in seminary, but it's still important to study, which is what's going on right now this summer with what I'm calling the Summer of Bonhoeffer, where every week we're diving into different teachings of Dietrich Bonhoeffer to, again, think critically on how do we apply this today, etc. So that's what the show is, and that's what you can expect every week. For those of you who have never checked out the show before, you can go into the description to find links to all of the important website and shop and way to contact me. We have a Facebook and Instagram as well that you can keep up with, so that way you know daily updates and when the episodes come out. But here on YouTube, the question then becomes, why stick around? Why should you smash that subscribe button and enable notifications always on, so that way you can never miss when a new video comes out? Why should you subscribe to the MSL YouTube channel? And it is because, for me, I see YouTube as an opportunity to expand what I'm doing here on My Seminary Life. A lot of podcasters use YouTube as another place to put the podcast, and that's fine if that's what they want to use their podcast platform. How they want to use YouTube, that's up to them. That's a way to run a railroad. For me, I see this as a way to branch out and to do other things that might not fit quite into the podcast format. So what then can you expect here on YouTube? One thing to not expect is a video podcast of every single episode. Again, for those of you who don't usually drop in, MSL is primarily a solo show, And I have a really hard time believing that people are going to want to sit and watch me stare at a camera for like 20 to 30 minutes of just me staring at them talking about theology. We're already at the 5-minute mark and I'm starting to get uncomfortable, so we should probably start wrapping this up. But one thing that I do think people would be interested in watching are interviews. So when interview episodes do happen, I am planning on recording the audio and video for those, because I know that is something that people do like. They like watching people talk about stuff. And so like the plan is for the episode that came out recently, where myself and Pastor Will Rose of Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, we discussed why it is important, or why you should take time to study Dietrich Bonhoeffer. The plan is for that to be the next video out here pretty soon, is our discussion, so you can watch both of us react to each other. We're both very engaging people that way. Another thing to expect here on YouTube is live streams. Live streams. For those of you who know, every year from anniversary special to anniversary special, MSL has a number of goals. I set a number of goals, and every time we hit one of those goals, we've been doing a Facebook live stream hangout thing. Those are now going to be here on YouTube. The live streams are going to be here, to make a note of that for all you people who do drop in and watch those live streams. They're going to be here on YouTube now. We don't have any coming up at the moment, but the best way to contribute to hitting these goals is to listen to the show, because there's a goal for downloads. Follow the show on Facebook, follow the show on Instagram, follow the show on Spotify, which we might change that one later on to followers here on YouTube, because I used to be on Anchor, Spotify for podcasters, and it was like a whole thing of having so many followers on Spotify. I'm not on there anymore. I'm on Captivate now. So having grafted over to a new thing, we might change that one later on. The fifth way to contribute to accomplishing goals and getting more live streams in your life is buying merch on the MSL shop. I have a sales goal every year. And so with those in mind, every time those goals are hit, we have a live stream, and then I set a new goal for that particular one, until we hit the next anniversary special, which is at the end of March of 2024. So still very fresh to hit some of those goals. The third thing that you can expect here on YouTube is 3 little words that every consumer loves to hear: exclusive, original content. Like I said, I want this to be a branch of MSL rather than just the show again in a different space. So for example, here soon, a video that's going to be coming out is me recapping the first 2 years, like more in depth. So that way, for those of you who are new to the show, who haven't gotten all the way back, or you want to get a better feel for what's going on here, what topics we have covered, that will give you a quick summary of what's been going on and a little bit of a taste of what's coming forward here on the show as well. And so to that end, drop into the comments and let me know what are some exclusive videos that you would be interested in checking out here on the MSL YouTube channel. Do you have any topics or suggestions? I'm not looking for like full-blown series, but one-off videos. We have a couple different, I'm starting to bring certain segments back onto the show, like My Life, or also this segment I'm introducing on the newest episode called Culturally Relevant, where I'm trying to talk about current events that are going on, give some of my takes on that. So if you have an idea, a topic, I've got some other ideas rolling around in my head, but just one-off 2-part video series, drop in the comments and let me know what you want to view. What do you want to see besides my Death Star clock behind me that doesn't work? Not only is it being constructed, it's also doesn't work anymore, but it still looks cool as I try to figure out how to point. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Again, please subscribe, our first full video. So please subscribe here to the MSL YouTube channel. Stay up to date when new videos drop. We should have an interview video coming out here within the next week for you all to check out. And I think that's it, because I basically plugged everything else. So this is Brandon signing off, reminding you for the first time here on YouTube that theology is for everyone. So keep on studying.